Everything is obsolete except us.
The world is ours now. We're forming a troupe. Clownpedo. You know, like a torpedo of clowns.
The Fantasia Film Festival kicks off today here in Montreal. For the last 27 years, it's focused on niche, B-rated, and low-budget movies. Among this year's screenings is the North American premiere of the film you just heard a snippet of. It's the Irish-British film Apocalypse Clown. And joining us now on the line is George Kane, director of the film. Hi, George.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing great. Listen, you have my full attention with the title Apocalypse Clown. Tell me about this movie, George.
It's an insane road trip comedy that's sort of modeled on your classic Hollywood disaster movie, you know, like The Day After Tomorrow or Geostorm or something Roland Emmerich would have put together. But it's got 5 clowns and a clown car and a corpse on the roof. And it's just an insane adventure into the heart of darkness.
So let me ask you, you mentioned, you know, it's got the sort of Hollywood blockbuster apocalypse thing, right? Your own take on it here. When, you know, and I mentioned off the top, like so-called low budget movies here. Is there really anything like, does a true low budget movie exist? Isn't everything expensive in life? Tell me about what a low budget movie means this day and age.
A low budget movie usually means that you can't afford to do everything you want to do, basically. But it's, yeah, I mean, in relative terms, it sounds like a lot of money, of course. But when you're talking about a film like this, as ambitious as this, being shot in Ireland for somewhere between €2 and €2.5 million, it sounds like a lot of money. It's nothing to be, you know, nothing to sniff at. But for what we need to achieve in the space of 4 or 5 weeks, it doesn't go very far. And especially when you're trying to be ambitious with your production design and having quite a big cast and all that kind of thing, you do run out of money quite quickly. So yeah, we're trying to make an over-the-top ambitious adventure comedy on not enough, but we did very well.
So how do you get it done? Like to what lengths do you and the producers of the movie have to go to make sure, you know, and you can't do everything you want to, like, what are the lengths that you have to go to get a film done on a budget like that?
Well, it's a very slow, long process. We've been developing this and trying to get it made for close to 10 years. You know, so that is not unusual for a film of this size because it's in Ireland. You tend to have to set it up with other European countries. So we had a lot of Belgian and French crew and makeup artists, and we had to do all our post-production in Belgium. So you kind of find the money where you can, support where you can, piece it all together. And that's a big task in of itself that the producers tend to take the lead on. But then creatively, you're constantly looking at your script and breaking it down and thinking, all right, this is probably going to cost this much. We have this much. Can we do something clever, like combine locations or take one character away, or, you know, maybe don't have that crazy scene in the desert? And it's quite painful when it gets down to it, where you really have to squeeze it into what you think you might be able to achieve, but without sacrificing the comedy and the story. But I think that's just the nature of it. Independent film is all about compromise and trying to do what you can with limited resources.
We're with George Kane. He's director of the film Apocalypse Clown, and that film is part of the Fantasia Film Festival. The festival kicks off today, and the film Apocalypse Clown is going to be shown twice on the 21st and the 23rd, Friday and Sunday is when you can catch the film. So, George, what happens when you're making a film like this? And, you know, Hollywood blockbuster, they could have a budget of $250 million. The reviews come in, and the reviews, this movie stinks. When you make a movie and now your reviews have been, oh, wow, this movie's pretty good. Oh, wow, this movie is really good. How does it feel when you finish your movie and then the reviews start to come in, or you realize, oh, my God, we actually did something good here?
Yeah, it's fantastic. I mean, only a few days ago, we screened it to our first ever public audience in Galway in Ireland at the Galway Film Festival. And up until that point, only maybe a maximum audience of 20 friends had watched an early cut of it. So the real gratifying moment is when you finally have these jokes that have been in your head for 7, 8, 9 years and put them in a room and people start laughing and getting on board with it and enjoying the performances. Before you even get to the review part, that's the joyous part where you're like, hey, thank God, this isn't bombing and it's not tumbleweeds. but also you start to enjoy your own material again and think and get on board with it. And it's great fun. And then, when critically, if people start taking note, I mean, it's a very strange premise and it's very striking visually. The posters and the imagery is pretty cool. So there's not anything like this out there. And because it's sort of come from nowhere, the Irish film industry, it's a low budget thing. People are going to raise their eyebrows and wonder, what the hell is this?
White clowns,
should check this out.
White clowns, George.
Well, clowns are a unique subsection of society that have had a really bad rap for the past, 40 years. They're not popular, but there's just a lot going on with these characters. You've got 4 or 5 different types of clown. And I mean, combining them with an apocalyptic setting, clowns are not what you need in a situation like this. And there's something funny about these 4 or 5 people thinking that the end of the world is their time to shine. So the gulf between how much people really don't like and don't need clowns versus what they think they can bring to the table is quite huge. And there's lots of comedy mileage in that space. How
important is the festival scene? How important is Fantasia to films like yours?
Fantasia is huge. I mean, it's a brilliant, very well-established genre film festival. So something that's sort of strange and left field and funny that flirts with a bit of horror occasionally, it's the ideal audience for it. It gets a lot of attention each year. So the big thing for us is getting eyes on the screen, getting word of mouth going, people telling their friends about it. The reviews start coming out. We have a North American distributor attached, but the plans aren't firmed up exactly what we're going to do with that yet. So that's going to play into it. So they're the main things, really. It's just getting the word out there, getting people talking about it. And when people see a poster or see a review, it sticks in your head and you think, oh, maybe I'll round up a few friends and go see that. And there's no better place than Fantasia to kick that off.
George, I wish you tremendous success on this film. I want to thank you for your time this morning.
Thank you so much. Great talking to you.
That's George Kane. He's director of the film Apocalypse Clown. Fantasia, the film festival. It starts today. You can catch Apocalypse Clown. There's 2 opportunities. Friday, you can see the film at 6:50 in the evening. And then on Sunday, there's a showing at 2:15 in the afternoon. To go check out the website, fantasiafestival.com, for all the films that are taking part in the fest.